Landscape painting has never really gone away, it's just kept changing shape. In this film, we are looking at 11 artists working today, each one taking the genre somewhere different. Some of these names will already be familiar to you, painters whose work now hangs in major museums and sells for serious money at auction. Others are earlier in their journey, building a following one exhibition at a time, but working with just as much ambition and skill. What connects all 11 is simple: a real committed relationship with landscape and a refusal to paint it the obvious way. Over the next few minutes, we'll take you through each of their worlds, how they work, what draws them to the land, and what makes their eye different from everyone else's. Peter Doig. Peter Doig is one of the most respected landscape painters working today. He was born in Scotland and grew up in Canada and Trinidad. That mix of places shaped the way he sees the world, and it shows clearly in his paintings. Doig doesn't paint a place exactly how it looks. He works from memory, mixing what he remembers with what he imagines. His paintings often show quiet coastlines, snowy forests, or still lakes. There's usually something strange or unexplained in the scenes, a shadow, a figure, or an odd light that makes you look twice and wonder what's really going on. He builds his paintings in layers, using soft colors next to bold, strong ones. He often takes ideas from old photographs, film stills, and his own memories and combines them into one image. The result is a landscape that feels familiar but not quite real, somewhere between a real place and a remembered one. Doig's work has made him one of the most sought-after painters in the world today. His paintings regularly sell for millions of pounds at auction, and his influence can be seen across a new generation of landscape artists working now. Museums and private collectors around the world compete to acquire his paintings, and exhibitions of his work regularly draw large crowds. Daniel Heidkamp. Daniel Heidkamp is an American painter based in Brooklyn, New York. He has become known for bringing new energy to traditional outdoor painting, and his work is now shown in galleries and museums all around the world. Heidkamp usually starts his paintings outside, setting up his easel at the location he is painting. This method, working directly from life, has a long history in landscape art, but he doesn't try to copy exactly what he sees. Instead, he uses very bright, strong colors, electric blues, vivid green, glowing yellow to change the mood of ordinary scenes like woods, beaches, and city parks. His paintings mix realistic details with simple, almost abstract shapes. He sometimes travels to places where famous painters worked in the past and paints the same location using his own modern style and color choices. Heidkamp is known for the way he paints light. In his work, sunlight and reflections often stand out more than the object around them. This has made his paintings instantly recognizable and helped him become one of the leading landscape painters of his generation in the United States today. He continues to paint outdoors in different locations each year, adding new places and light conditions to his growing body of work. Shara Hughes. Shara Hughes is an American painter based in New York and one of the most talked about artists working today. She has become known for what she calls psychological landscapes, paintings of places that exist only in her imagination. Unlike most landscape painters, Hughes doesn't work from photographs or real locations. She starts with a blank canvas and paints without a fixed plan, letting one shape or color lead to the next as the painting develops. Her paintings often include swelling trees, glowing moons, waterfalls, and fields of flowers, shown in bright, unusual color combinations rarely seen in nature. Her brushwork is loose and energetic, with thick paints and strong patterns built up across the canvas. Critics and collectors have responded strongly to her work, and it now sells for high prices at major auction houses all around the world. Hughes has shown that landscape painting doesn't need to be calm or realistic. Her paintings are busy, colorful, and full of movement, and they've helped change the way people think about what a landscape painting can look like today. Her paintings are now held in the permanent collections of major institutions, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the Whitney Museum of American Art in New York. Anselm Kiefer. Anselm Kiefer is a German painter and one of the most influential artists of the past 50 years. His landscape paintings are known for their huge size and for dealing with serious subjects like memory, history, and war. Kiefer doesn't only use paint. He builds up his canvases with straw, ash, clay, lead, and dried paints, creating thick, rough surfaces that stand out from the canvas itself. His paintings often show large open fields, burnt ground, and ruined buildings, giving the impression of places that have lived through long periods of history and conflict. His work often deals with Germany's difficult 20th century history, and with the way nature slowly recovers after destruction. Even his darkest paintings usually include some sign that life continues, a green shoot, a path, or an open sky. Kiefer's paintings are shown in major museums all around the world, and because of their size, they are often displayed in very large gallery spaces built specially for them. He is widely seen as one of the most important living painters, and his work continues to shape how artists think about landscape and history. He has received numerous international awards over his career, and major retrospectives of his work continue to travel between leading museums. George Shaw. George Shaw is a British painter known for choosing very ordinary subjects for his landscape paintings. Rather than mountain or coastlines, he paints the suburban streets of Tile Hill, the estate in Coventry where he grew up. His work has been shortlisted for major British art prizes, including the Turner Prize in 2011. What makes Shaw's paintings unusual is his choice of materials. He paints using Humbrol enamel, the same paint used for model aircraft kits. This gives his work a smooth, glossy surface and a very precise, detailed finish that is unusual for landscape painting. His subjects include garages, footpaths, pubs, and rows of houses, places most people would walk past without noticing. He paints them carefully, often showing how the light changes at different times of the day in different seasons. Through these everyday scenes, Shaw explores memory and the passage of time. His paintings suggest that interesting landscapes don't need to be dramatic or far away. They can be found in the ordinary places people grew up in and later leave behind. He has said he plans to keep returning to Tile Hill as his subject, treating the estate as an ongoing, lifelong project rather than a finished series. Jori Poutanen. Jori Poutanen is a painter originally from Finland, now living in North Queensland, Australia. Moving between these two very different environments has shaped his work, which focuses closely on the natural landscape around him. Poutanen paints in oils, using thick textures and visible brushwork to show forest floors, riverbanks, and coastlines where rainforests meets the sea. He pays close attention to how sunlight moves through trees and plants, and tries to capture the light accurately on canvas rather than exaggerating it. He comes from a family with a background in art, and says he prefers to let his paintings speak for themselves. Without extra explanation attached, his work stays focused on direct observation rather than symbolism or hidden meaning. Poutanen's paintings have been gaining attention for their honesty and their close connection to the natural world around him. As his career develops, he continues to explore the landscapes of tropical Australia, offering a grounded, close-up view of the environment rather than a wide, dramatic one. His paintings are often sold directly to collectors who share his interest in the specific landscape of North Queensland and its coastline. Leavey is an Australian landscape painter based near the Blue Mountains, New South Wales. The dramatic scenery around her home has become the main subject of her work, and she has shown her paintings at major Australian art fairs and competitions. Leavey paints in acrylics, using palette knives and thick points to build up layers on canvases. This gives her paintings a raised, three-dimensional surface, especially in her skies, hills, and mountain scenes, where the paint sits well above the canvas. Her subjects include sunsets, rolling hills, and mountain views, all painted with bold color and visible texture. The thick layers of paint catch the light differently depending on where you stand, which adds a sense of movement and depth to the finished work. Leavey's paintings are known for their strong color and physical texture, and they've made her a recognized name in contemporary Australian landscape painting. Her work continues to focus on the mountains and countryside close to where she lives and paints. Collectors are often drawn to the tactile quality of her surfaces, which looks different in photographs than they do in person. Laurence. Laurence is an Australian painter with more than 40 years of experience painting the landscape of Australia's east coast. His work has been collected across Australia and internationally, and he is considered an established figure in Australian landscape painting. Laurence works across a range of styles, from thick, textured oil paintings made with palette knives to cleaner, more graphic interpretations of the landscape. His subjects include coastal scenes with light reflecting off water. Laurence works across a range of styles, from thick, textured oil paintings made with palette knives to cleaner, more graphic interpretations of landscape. His subjects include coastal scenes with light reflecting off water, as well as plants and colors of the Australian bush. Over his long career, Laurence has continued to try new techniques and materials rather than sticking to one fixed style. This has kept his work changing and developing, even after decades spent painting similar subjects along the coast. Laurence's long career and steady output have made him a respected name in Australian landscape art. His work is often used as an example of how a painter's style can develop and change over a long working life spent close to home. Younger Australian painters have cited his career as an example of how to keep evolving without losing a consistent personal style. Riordan. Marie Riordan is a painter based in the central coast of New South Wales, known for bright, colourful landscape paintings of the area she lives in. Her work has built a strong following among collectors drawn to its warmth and accessibility. Riordan's paintings show coastal scenes, rolling hills, and rural life, painted with bold color and confident brushwork. She often includes small details like farm animals and local landmarks, giving her paintings a personal, storytelling quality that feels rooted in a specific place. Her use of color is a key part of her style. Riordan tends to paint bright skies, warm light, and strong greens, giving her landscapes an upbeat, cheerful tone rather than a realistic or muted one that might be expected. Riordan's work is popular among people looking for landscape paintings that feel warm and positive. Her focus on color and everyday rural scenes has made her a recognizable name in contemporary Australian landscape painting today. Her paintings are frequently chosen for interiors where a bright, welcoming feel is wanted, from home to hospitality spaces. Amaria Stark is an Australian painter known for detailed landscape paintings of native trees, bushland, and rural scenery. Her work draws on personal travel and reference photography and focuses closely on the plants and places she paints. Working mainly in acrylics, Stark pays close attention to detail, painting gum trees, river valleys, and farmland with careful, realistic brushwork. Her paintings often focus on specific plants and natural textures rather than wide, sweeping views of countryside. Her work is centered on Australian native landscapes, and she takes care to represent plants and terrain accurately. Based on close observation, this attention to detail has become a defining feature in her painting style over time. Stark's paintings appeal to people with a strong interest in Australian landscape and native flora. Her detailed, grounded approach sets her apart from painters who work in a looser or more abstract style, and her work continues to focus on Australia's rural and bush environments. Her paintings are often praised for helping viewers notice details in native Australian plants that might otherwise go unnoticed.